Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady and happy August 1st. I can't believe the summer is passing this fast. I mean, I guess I can because it's my favorite season, so it always goes faster than I want it to. But I'm very excited to take you on a super abbreviated garden tour today because I want to entice you all to join me on Wednesday, August 2nd for my live stream garden tour, where not only will I show you the garden, but you can ask me all of your questions and I can actually answer you live and in person, almost like you would be here next to me. So without further ado, let me turn the camera around and we'll take a quick lap. And I do hope that you will join me on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have the link for registration in the description. All right, back patio view. Everything is looking great. You can see the squash, the buckwheat, the echinacea, the sweet potatoes, cucumbers, tomatoes from the tower garden, phlox paniculata, bright eyes. The butterflies have literally just stopped flapping around. I am loving this side of this pathway with the plectranthus that really helps deter the animals, and lantana, salvia, coleus, oregano, chives. Across the border there you can see more lantana, that's Chapel Hill Gold, and of course these amazing mangaves that are planted in the ground. They look so great. I'm not expecting them to be hardy, but it'd be great if they were. But what's most exceptional about this side of the property right now is we're missing that gigantic Yoshino cryptomeria. And it's really just opened up this bed so much. Now you can see the hedychium are definitely getting some sun scald as a result of the sudden exposure to full sun. But that's okay, they will recover. You see there is the stump. That came out not quite a week ago. And really it's just going to allow all of these other shrubs to fill in, provide the screening we need. It's just such a relief to have that Yoshino gone. It was so messy. It was always dropping branches. You can see, you know, old bits from that conifer. And I'm so happy to have this area opened up. And, well, I think everything in here is going to do so much better as a result of better exposure. Well, the north side here, these Rudbeckia are crazy and amazing, but my goodness, do they ever attract pollinators, as do these green spire hydrangea paniculatas. And you can see how many fertile flowers they have. These large bracts are infertile. They don't support pollinators at all. So when you're looking at hydrangea paniculatas, it's really good to have some of these smaller blooms on each panicle. And as we head out through here, hopefully you watched my video all about what Snell did, because they completely elevated all of the trees. Every tree that they touched looks so much better as a result. These live oaks are amazing now. So much more light is getting in, even though they still cast a great shadow. And this patch of bright eyes phlox is, well, it's on fire. In the daytime, it's covered in butterflies. Right now, there's still some late time bees. And the front border, now I have been watering. Look, that sprinkler is placed very strategically to not only get the front border, but to also get the wave. And you can see how the different varieties of the Treasure Island sweet potatoes are filling in perfectly as a ground cover. And these Thailand giant colocasias look awesome. I've got a couple of zucchinis that are really rocking and rolling in this border. And I have literally been harvesting dinner every single night from this front foundation bed. And, you know, I do this differently every single year. I have to say, I think this year is my favorite, at least in this moment. It's not too tall. The zucchinis add such a great texture. The buckwheat filling in the gaps. The sweet potatoes, those credible sunflowers. I'm even kind of enjoying the cannas to a degree. They're still kind of messy. The sesame is starting to bloom back there. The eggplants are producing a lot. And wait until I show you these ginormous jalapeno peppers that basically one is enough for a meal because they're so doggone big. Look at these. Look at those. Those are the biggest jalapeno peppers I've ever grown, and the plants are doing really well. There's a whole bunch of them, more there. And then of course I have a lot of peppers planted throughout the middle section of this. So this is really proving to be a super functional foodscape, and it's providing a lot that we're bringing in and eating on a daily basis. And that is exactly my goal. Tomorrow I'm going to start with videos that are talking more about container gardening, because I've had to do a lot of edits. So I'm just going to really breeze quickly by everything that's planted here in the driveway bed and move over to this zone 8 south facing border where everything is doing incredibly well. This Justicia, that fabulous Hydrangea paniculata, this Kufia, that of course wasn't supposed to be hardy but is. The Sarissa continues to put out some blooms, and the white-eyed sedge really looks great. But of course my true love is this papyrus, and if that is actually growing out of a bog pot. This is actually a pond liner sunken into the ground, and it has soil, and then it also holds water, and that's the best way that I can describe to grow this original source for paper. As we pan the fence line, oh, it's just so great. The tomatoes are doing really well. Everything that was planted in veggie mix, super healthy. No disease issues whatsoever, so that's a great relief. I just know that I have a bunch of pots with old soil that I need to get rid of. But as you can see, the cream sausage here are doing great. These are all orange icicle, another wonderful paste variety. You've got those fruit snack apples in the pots behind there. And you can see my lime tree starting to produce. And this incredible begonia, which was a trial from last year, just will not stop. I can't believe that I'm a begonia person, but I sort of am. And this side property border is everything that I've ever dreamed of plus some. You know, I can't believe that this was done about 6 weeks ago from seed. And now the deer are coming in. You can see they're nibbling. They're nibbling the buckwheat. I've actually never had that happen before. I totally had the power to stop it. I could just hook up my motion censored irrigation system. To be honest, I'm not really that offended that they're eating the buckwheat. It's gonna potentially just keep it a little lower, keep the scale of this bed in check. And the champagne cryptomeria, it's never looked better than it does right now. It's just really showing off that white variegation. And this border without the peach that was growing out of my compost pile, it's so much brighter. All the plants are just like immediately responding to having more daylight. And as you can see here, I've got a blank slate to play with. And there is just nothing more exciting than a blank slate. So as we make our way over here to this side of the greenhouse, I'm just really pleased with how everything is looking this year. It's not overcrowded. I think we exercised some restraint in our planting. You can see lots of okra coming along this edge. I'm fingers crossed, hoping that all of the wilt has shown itself and that the tomatoes that are left in this planting are safe. You can see I've got a lot of cream sausage coming. These are, of course, planted in veggie mix from Soil Cube in these fabric bags. And that squash is actually perennialized, and you see that it's just growing over the greenhouse, And it's just, I think, a really beautiful element. So far, I don't see any fruit. Do I see any fruit? I don't see any fruit yet. Hopefully soon. And over here with this Prunus mume pruned up, it's a game changer. Everything is, again, all these plants appreciate more light than shade, and they were in a lot of shade prior to last week, and now they're 100% working their magic. Here in the fire pit, you can see the succulent collection looks fantastic. All of the tomatoes in these pots are producing really heavily. I'm really dedicated to keeping up with all of our harvests. I'll admit I'm doing a very good job on harvesting. And again, all of these containers I think are really, they're just filling out really nicely. They look very pretty. I did have another casualty to wilt that I cut out this morning that was in this pot here. But as you can see, Southern tomato is totally unaffected, and to be honest, I think it appreciates not having so much competition. And of course, all of these tomatoes, pepper, and peanut combinations that are planted directly in the veggie mix bags look fabulous. Well, I really hope that you will plan to join me on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's free. All you have to do is click on the link and register. I have never done a live tour before. I'm really excited because one of the things that I love most about my job as a speaker is the live and in-person element. I really thrive off of connecting with people, and sometimes talking to my cell phone feels weird. So I'm really excited to be doing a garden tour where people are going to actually be interacting with me at the same time. I have some cocktail ideas that I'm also going to post as a separate video. And I'm going to end here at the feed tank because what I've recently realized is that late afternoon is not the time to sit in this. But after the sun goes down, that is the magic moment to sit and soak in this feed tank and feel an incredible sense of joy and happiness, and it's incredibly refreshing. And what's really cool is that you're like at ground level. You can actually like see the frogs and, well, see all the insects as they are hanging out. And hang on, I gotta turn the camera around. There's a frog right here that I want you to see. So it might not be everyone's dream to swim with frogs, but I really enjoy it. And as you can see, I've got my resident leopard frog right here. He's just there waiting to eat the insects. He just jumped down a little. And there's actually about 6 of them that live in this ring of coleus. And sometimes they just jump in the pool and swim around. Well, I'm charmed by it. Before there's absolutely no daylight left, I just wanted to say one of the reasons that I love teaming up with Peppermint is because it actually is ad-free. And that's what makes it different from YouTube. That's how live streaming is possible, because there's actually people behind the scenes that are actually providing me the technical assistance that I need to make things like this possible. And I advertised this in my newsletter recently and had a few people, you know, be worried about like, oh, well, I'm giving them my information. It's just a free platform specifically targeted for retired people to connect with other retired people on shared hobbies. And I have to say, I think it's pretty revolutionary. I'm very excited to be involved with them and really aiming to help make this platform a success, because long term, I'd love to be able to shift more of my content to kind of a base of people who are genuinely interested in all of the information that I have to share. So please don't hesitate to click on this registration link, because you're not going to get inundated with information. You're just going to join a free Zoom live stream garden tour. And maybe you'll actually enjoy yourselves a lot, and it'll be a great experience that you've never had before. So, as always, thanks so much for watching. I look forward to sharing more updates with all of you next week.